This is GrantTalk, hosted by Libby Hikind, founder and CEO of GrantWatch and author of The Queen of Grants.
Hi, I'm Libby Hikind, and I'm your host today on GrantTalk, which is powered by GrantWatch. And today we're going to speak to people behind the grants. And with me is Bobbi Donovan, and she's from the Sunshine Family Outreach Center in California. And Bobbi got quite a number of grants that she found on GrantWatch. We want to hear about her journey in the grant writing process. So welcome, Bobbi. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about the organization you work for.
The Sunshine Family Outreach Center is a nonprofit that I started 3 years ago. I'm a retired teacher. I retired in 2020 and got right on starting a nonprofit that I've dreamed about for my entire career. So our biggest project right now is a mobile library called the Sunshine Family Bookmobile. And so we serve over 300 children in the Sacramento area. And so the grants we are pursuing are all related to literacy for children.
So the need existed, or you wouldn't have done it. Why is there no library in the area?
Well, that's a great question. There is a public library in Sacramento. There's several branches, but the closest branch to the community that I serve is, over 4 miles away. And most of the families we are working with, transportation's not an option to get their children to the library. Many of our bookmobile visitors are newly arrived immigrants, and these kids need to have books in their hands outside of the school day, and the library for them right now is not an option.
I remember as a child, I would walk to the library in my little town where we lived, and the librarian always had the latest Dr. Seuss book waiting for me.
Yeah, those memories, that's what I had. I grew up with the bookmobile in my community. My brother and sisters and I would ride our bike there every week, check out our books. I, was also fortunate enough to have parents who could drive me to the library. Teaching in the community where I taught, where, the majority of kids are living in poverty, that was a great need outside of the classroom. I would send home bags of books with my students, every week. And I just thought if they just had that outreach outside of the school day, their reading skills would continue to improve.
And you retired from teaching and you got your second wind. That's kind of
Mhm.
what I did.
Oh, great.
I write about it in my book, From Teacher to Grant Writer to CEO. So we are
Mhm.
sisters in our careers.
Definitely.
And it's so nice that after teaching so many years, you get to use what you learned, firsthand experience, and bring it to the children. Very
Definitely.
nice.
Yes.
So you've gotten a lot of grants. Who's the grant writer?
I'm the grant writer, and GrantWatch for us has made all the difference. As I said, I was a teacher. I've been on boards of nonprofits before, but I've never been in charge of, seeking the funding and writing the grants. So when I discovered GrantWatch, we got a grant right off the bat from an amazing organization called the Lisa Libraries, which operates in New York, and they provide books to nonprofits like ours. They are, working with publishing companies that donate books to them, and then they donate books to programs like ours. And that started. I had lots of books when I retired to fill up our bookmobile, but that first grant got us going. So that was an amazing opportunity for us.
Have you ever tried writing a children's book?
I have not tried writing. I have so many ideas in my head that would be amazing, I know, but right now I'm focused on getting children's books out to these kids.
My favorite author when I was teaching was Patricia Polacco.
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
I think I'm trying to remember, was it Dear Teacher? Something, something Mr. Faulkner about her,
Mm-hmm,
about the
mm-hmm.
teacher. I
Yeah,
don't
dear
remember the
Mr.
exact
Faulkner.
title.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. We have
It was,
those on our bookmobile.
I love those books because you could make an entire curriculum from one book.
Yes,
You had
yes,
everything there, and the values, and there was a book about a butterfly which just touched on the Holocaust just
mm,
enough for children that age and not going too deep. Uh,
right.
and I would sit there with my students on the carpet in my rocking chair, which
Uh-huh.
and the large board. When I left, the classrooms were getting smart boards already.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Did you have those in
And
your school?
I did, yes, definitely. But thinking about authors like Patricia Polacco, I mean those timeless stories that are so popular today. I mean, I was just yesterday we were out with the bookmobile. Our Curious George basket is empty, and so
Yeah.
it's these authors that are writing these books that you taught with, I taught with, and they're still popular today. So
Right.
um,
Timeless, definitely.
timeless, exactly. Yes.
And the service you're doing to the community is unreal. And you've gotten so many grants, though, $90,000 total at this point.
Yes, and we have a few that are, out there that we just, we're waiting to hear from. But the process through GrantWatch of finding a grant that matches our needs is easy. That's what I love about this site because the filters work. I can filter down to California, literacy, community, and find and not waste a lot of time looking through grant bases where the filters aren't really working. And for, a small nonprofit like ours where, there's just a few of us doing all the work, we have
Right.
volunteers and things, but we don't have time to look through just volumes of grants that aren't applicable to us, so
Hmm.
we've been really lucky with GrantWatch.
Did you get anything from us when you told us you won a grant?
I got the mug that I'm looking at right now, which every time I have a grant out, I love it. I use that as my lucky mug when I'm submitting a grant, and
Hmm.
so yes, GrantWatch has been amazing for us.
Well, we thank you for being a subscriber. How have you used any AI in your grant writing?
I have not. I just took like a class, a short class online about it, and just starting to study it. I think for us old school grant writers, I'm able to cut and paste some things that I think really work to describe our process. I still really want that full ownership of what I'm promoting.
And you're
So
right. You're right. Don't apologize for that. That is exactly how to use AI for grant writing.
okay,
If you're going to take any part of artificial intelligence, it has to it, it has to include your passion.
yes.
That's the only way the grant is going to get one, is they hear from you.
Right,
So if you have a piece that you wrote, you want it to be a little more exciting, you want to beef it up, you might put it into your chat or whatever program you're using, right?
right.
But you should write the proposal.
Yes, yes. And I think that has been successful, for us. We have a nonprofit that's pretty unique, it's not operating. Similar programs aren't out there. There's a huge need for it. So we are, continuing to try to expand because when COVID hit, especially schools where most of the kids were not working at grade level before COVID, imagine the impact of the loss of learning
Mhm.
during that time on top of learning a second language. So we're able to identify grants that, understand that issue. And it's a huge issue. I think we're going to continue to see the effects of learning loss in the next 10 years. I mean, people are
I
predicting it's
agree.
going to take that long for kids to recover, not just academically, but emotionally. And these communities been hit hard by COVID and everything that came with it.
What does expansion for your nonprofit look like?
Well,
How do you see it?
we really want to get a brick and mortar building that could be a tutoring center right in the center of this community where parents can bring their kids for free tutoring. Our volunteers are all retired librarians, teachers who are very adept at teaching kids how to read. I think sometimes these programs that are, marketed as after school programs, they're great, but they don't have, people who know how to teach kids how to read working there. So they're not seeing results as quickly as they possibly could. We're an all volunteer nonprofit. We don't have any paid employees. So everyone who's out there is doing it, because it's the right thing to do. So if we did have a center, we could focus on that and art, dance, music. We want to offer ESL classes for parents. Short term, we need another bookmobile going out to communities near us that have just, the greatest need also. So there's all different kinds of ideas for expansion. And slowly we're getting these small grants. We want to find a big donor who can partner with us and get that started.
Well, I talk about the compounding effect. Your list is long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you need to include that list whenever you apply for a grant or if you write a letter of inquiry to a foundation. Just
Okay.
keep it because that builds on it. Everybody else, well, Dollar General trusted you, and
Hmm.
the governor's office trusted you, whatever it is, that really gives you credibility.
Yes. Yes.
And the fact that you're a volunteer agency also gives you credibility. That means you have a lot of community support. People don't realize the value in volunteers. Besides that, they actually take the work away, work from staff, paid staff. That you don't need that, but it really shows community support. So you're doing all the right things. You're going to grow. There's no question in my mind.
Great. Do you recommend when you're writing a grant, if they don't specifically ask for who else has supported you, just adding that?
Yes, if there's room. Don't,
Okay.
you have to be careful if there are page limits or character limits, but if there's room, it's very important to say that.
Okay.
And how you use the funds and why you need more, of course.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
that, oh, well, you don't want them to think that you're sitting in money,
Right. Yes.
right?
Right.
But but you use that to open one and now you need your second one. So that gives you a good angle to
Okay.
use.
Great.
So, how will people get in touch with you? They're
Yeah.
watching this and they want to know about more or they want to donate.
Right. So our website is where we take direct donations. Sunshinefamilyoutreach.center. That's the best way to find out more about our program and to donate for funders. We coordinate with the local school district to get information about our program for families. We're very focused on working with all these feeder schools that live in the neighborhoods where we work. So that we're advertising for readers, young readers on through the school districts, which is great. But yeah, our website I think is our number one spot to go to.
And you have social media accounts as well, right?
We are not active on social media. And so it's definitely something we're looking into. We've found that donors are donating, and maybe it's because it's the generation of people who are supporting us are donating through the website. And I would, appreciate any recommendations you would have for that. I know it's something we definitely need to pursue. I feel like we're doing okay getting our word out.
Hmm.
I've read a lot about most donations are coming through email contacts, but what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think that keep your social media active so people feel that you're current. I think that's
Okay.
important. And you can really get a lot of pictures out there, and
Yeah.
pictures are great. You can follow us on social media. On the top of GrantWatch, we have
Hmm.
all our social media channels on the top right corner. and we'll follow you back, and hopefully it'll help each other.
Yes.
And I just want to say to all our listeners that are out there, if you want to hear more about the people that are behind the grants, I suggest that you hit the subscribe button on whatever channel you're watching us on, and like, comment, and share so other people can have the same experience as you. Bobbi, it's been an outright pleasure. I'm very happy to hear how GrantWatch has helped, because teaching reading was my thing.
That's great.
And the one thing I miss about teaching is reading to children.
I wish you were closer. You could come out and read with our kids.
Well, it may happen.
I would
There are times when we take the show on the road, so it might happen.
You would love it, Libby. You would absolutely love it, because just seeing the kids' reactions their first time on our bus, it's unbelievable. Just to be,
It's probably like, wow.
it
wow.
is. They're just like, yeah.
It's like,
So, and
okay.
then to see all these titles that they know, and then the greatest thing is when they come back and ask for books by a similar author or the same author. You're just like, these are book lovers. We're turning these kids into book lovers. So that's the greatest thing.
And reading is so fundamental to somebody's future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you're using AI, you still have to read what AI wrote.
Definitely. And it's the only way out for kids who are living in communities that are struggling. Education, reading, that's the key for them. So, yeah.
And that's where all the money should go. Education, education, education. That's
Definitely.
it.
Yep, I agree. Thank you so much for having me. I
you're
really appreciate the opportunity.
You're welcome. And thank you. Thanks for being a subscriber.
Thank you.
And go keep winning the grants.
I
letting
will.
us know.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you for tuning in to Grant Talk, powered by GrantWatch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this GrantWatch channel. Please consider subscribing to grantwatch.com, and you can find the book, The Queen of Grants, by going to grantwatch.com/book. Thank you again for spending your time with us.